So I feel like as a professional chef, one of the most nerve-wracking things that I can watch anyone do is cut vegetables, cut meat, especially when they're not confident with their knife skills. So this tutorial today is basically going to give you a real quick run through on some basic skills as to how you can get it done more effectively, faster, easier, but safe as well, so you don't lose any fingers. Couple of quick pointers. First thing is you want to get a knife that kind of is this shape. Okay, so you've got this rounded part at the front and it's got a point. So this is what we're going to be using today, and we're going to go through 3 kind of cuts. Alrighty, so for the point of today I'm going to use an onion and a tomato. So with the onion, I'm just going to get rid of the top, and we're only using half. So, let me just take this skin off. So this is really for anyone that cooks at home and that already cooks but feels that cooking takes way too long, or they're worried about getting cut, or they're not 100% confident in their knife skills. So the first thing you want to note is you always want to keep the point of the knife on the board. So there's a couple of things. So a chop is when you chop like this. Okay, forget about that. Like, that takes more skill, it takes more effort, and it's not as good for the knife either. You want to stick to what's called a slice, where the point of the knife is always going to stay on the board, and that's going to be your guide. Okay, so the knife motion is actually just going to be like this. You need less effort, and you know exactly where the knife is going to go because the point stays on the board. The second thing is how you want to hold the onion. Okay, the knife should only ever touch, okay, this part of your hand. So it never touches the fingers, never touches the nails, it only ever touches this knuckle. So you're almost holding like a claw, right? And that's exactly how you're going to hold onto the onion. The knife goes on the board, so the point always stays on the board of the knife, and then the weight of the knife just cuts through, touch against the knuckle, and come back down. Touch against the knuckle, and come back down. And all you need to do is worry about moving your hand back so that it stays nice and safe. So the next one is the same deal, okay? Normally people go through and they cut the onion like this, okay? And then they go through and cut it like this and you get a dice, which is cool. But I'm going to show you a little bit of a different way, which is still safe, still easy, okay? And you're sticking to the slicing method. So you're going to use the end of your knife. So the knife is still going to stay on the board, but you're going to line the heel up with where you want to cut. So it's still really safe, you're still keeping the knuckles against the knife, and the heel is going to determine where the end of the cut is. So then there's much less chance for you to slip with the knife because the point of the knife is still staying on the board. And then same, you're just going to cut through, and then you end up with your diced onion. It makes life easy, safe, you don't need to worry about losing fingers, and that's pretty much it. So this is another one that really freaks me out when people go to cut tomatoes. Okay, so pop the stem off. Now, with the tomato, first thing is same deal. Okay, you're going to slice through the tomato, the top of the tomato, and then this is not rubbish, okay? You can use that later, but then the tomato stays flat, so it's not going to roll around everywhere, and you've got a much safer slice to cut. I don't know, safer slice. And then same deal, okay? If you can, so if you've got a nice sharp knife, if you leave the point on the board and then you just slide through the tomato, not a risk of cutting yourself, but you're not going to damage the tomato either. Sometimes what happens when the knife is too blunt and you try and saw, that's when things get dangerous. So knife stays on the board and you're just going to slide through the tomato. And that's it. Now look, like anything, right, practice makes perfect. But if you keep the knife on the board, okay, not only are you going to be much safer, and you keep your knuckles, first knuckles, tucked against the knife and the fingertips tucked under, you're at a really low risk of cutting yourself. You get your cooking done faster, and it makes life a whole lot easier.